It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
I'm Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. This NBA season rocking right along, and we're loving every minute of it. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Clippers as they play against the Bulls out in Chicago. For Chicago, they don't want to disappoint the hometown fans, but they'll have their hands full taking on one of the top teams in the league. We'll see if they can get it done. And one of the guys we'll see down low tonight, Nikola Vucevic out of Montenegro by way of USC. Legit 7-footer who has quietly put up huge numbers the last few seasons, Kenny.
Well, he uses his size really well to carve out space. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, actually. I think his ability to kind of shoot from the outside, dominate on the paint, and his rebounding. I think last season he averaged 19 points and 11 boards a game. Pretty impressive.
You know, he's not a player that plays with a lot of flash, but he comes and produces every night. Said it once and said it twice. Any player that names in with Vich can play.
Well, you said it three times
Vucevic,
now.
Maravich, and O'Nealovich.
The game just about ready to begin. Time to send it down to Kevin Harlan-Vich.
Nice, Ernie Johnson-Ovich.
We're live, the home of the Chicago Bulls, the United Center. Glad to have you with us for more NBA action. This is Kevin Harlan to call the game with our analysts Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. The Bulls happy to return to Chicago after the road trip. Still trying to find that groove they had last year. They'd like to grab hold of some new momentum and get closer, Steve, to where they were a season ago.
And, you know, for the Bulls, they haven't been the kind of fierce competitors here in the early season that they were just last year. Not even close. Could this be a team about to take a giant step backward?
No, I don't think so, Greg. I mean, they're just struggling with motivation right now. This team knows how to get itself ready for the postseason.
And the Clippers starting five. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Ibaka. Then it's Jordan. Then it's Paul George. And it's Bledsoe in at the point. Now here's Plumlee. Outside Rose. Picked by Vucevic. Down to 5 on the shot clock. No good off the front iron.
Tell you what, guys, it was a bit of a mixed bag for Eric Bledsoe last season. Average career highs in rebounds and assists. Those were the good parts. But for some reason, the field goal and three-point percentages dropped 30-plus points.
Vucevic with the bucket.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
And here's Los Angeles. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
And the effort down the stretch, those final few minutes of regulation, you know, that's what they needed, but they were burnt out in the overtime.
Yeah, that's a good call, Greg. I mean, there was a little bit of a letdown for them in OT, and that can happen after you spend so much energy just to force the overtime.
And talking about Eric Bledsoe, he took on a lot more responsibility last season, Greg, especially after the trades in Phoenix. He became the main focal point of their offense.
And you know what? It was his first year of kind of being the man. Signed a big contract coming into the season, and now there's a responsibility that goes with being the go-to guy. Eric has the talent to shine, though, in that role. And a really good way to start the game. He's a guy who, if he gets it going early, he's going to give you problems.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Now here's Leonard. 23 points for him the last game against the Bucks in Milwaukee.
And also, he competed on the backboards. That also had a lot to do with the game.
Now Rose. Vucevic a screen on Bledsoe. Rose against Bledsoe. And Vucevic kicks to Rose. The shot misses. And the Clippers will go the other way with it. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season.
And you have to love it when there's a matchup.
I mean, just beautiful. Here he comes, and there he goes.
Look at him punish that rack.
Check out the fellas. Check out his teammates over on the bench. So they are going crazy.
And in this first quarter, about 3 minutes played. Kicks to Dunleavy. Pass to Plumlee. Fades and shoots. And the rejection by Ibaka. And Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Here's Levine, and that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
You know, huge height advantage there, but because of the great body control, he's able to cancel it out.
Agreed. The body control essential in that situation. I mean, if you're giving up a bunch of height, then you better be able to manufacture things in the air.
One shot. Mind the lane. Mind the lane. One shot.
Hey, for Zach Levine, the dunk contest last season was his coming out party to the world. He put on a show that everybody in the NBA was buzzing about.
Ibaka, the pass to Bledsoe. Kicks it out to Leonard. It's stolen by Vucevic. Here's Levine, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It goes on Eric Bledsoe.
Hey, guys, for Zach Levine, once he finally got comfortable last season, boy, did he heat up. He shot 42% over his rookie year, but 47% over the last month. And I think that gave him a lot of confidence as he's entering into year 2.
Free throw good, Levine. You know, as Greg was talking about, Levine was a lights-out shooter at times in college. He would go on these binges, falling back Clark from 25 feet and draining it. I mean, unreal shots.
Well, it looks good when they're going down, but he also can bend, shoot you out of a game. So you pick your poison.
And so Levine nails both of them.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player, excellent at the free throw line.
Jordan the screen. George sets a screen for Bledsoe. Ibaka wide open. He fires. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
Rose dishes to Plumlee. Feeds to Vucevic. Right block shot, and Jordan sends it back. And it's slammed in by Plumlee. And here's Bledsoe. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. George with the ball. Back to Bledsoe. And another three for the Clippers.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
That's 2 in a row, and we call that a streak.
Rose with the ball. Now guarded by Bledsoe. Vucevic is screen on Bledsoe. Here's Dunleavy. He's coming off a 19-point game against Boston. And that one's good. Dunleavy's got his first basket.
It makes up for a lack of speed with just tremendous effort and hustle on that play.
Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Doc Rivers.
He said that their defensive focus, no surprise, will be trying to keep Derrick Rose out of the lane. He added, you know he's come a long way as an outside shooter, but he's a pick-your-poison type of player. We can't let him get into the paint. Makes sense, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. Pick by Vucevic. And it's blocked by Jordan. And Bledsoe, here we go. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Clippers will retain possession. Let's bring up the 2K leaderboard and show you the teams that have shot the lights out during the last month. Number 5, the Bulls.
Yeah, Kevin, it's been a long month for anybody who plays these guys. I mean, they've been shooting the lights out, and it's been game after game after game.
Deandre Jordan has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, you know, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round, and he's made good on it, though.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles.
And watching Deandre Jordan, he's really refined his game over the years without losing the athleticism. He's that rubbery, long-limbed athlete that transcends age. And so far, I've seen zero drop-off in his leaping ability and quickness, but no question he's improved his skills and IQ.
And Ibaka kicks to Bledsoe. Leonard with no one around. Off target from three-point range. The Bulls have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. And the wide open shot from Rose. And he can't bank that one in.
And talking about Deandre Jordan, he is displaying an energy level that many scouts wondered if he had. Let's face it, he underachieved a bit in his 1 year in college. He knows that. But when it's come time to do it at the highest level, Deandre has risen to the occasion.
Picked by Vucevic. Here's Levine. Serge Ibaka with the rebound.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game. And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
That is a nice pass. I will give you that one.
Yep, he was on the money, that's no doubt. Rose passes to Vucevic. Right wing. Dunleavy dishes to Plumlee. 6 to shoot. There's Rose with the 3. Rose can't get that one to fall.
And he made sure not to just draw the foul. That was good defense out on the perimeter.
Very good. He's a thinking man's defender. Knows how to bother even the best shooters without being overly aggressive.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. Clippers leading by 6. And there's the pass to George. And the wide open shot from Bledsoe. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. And that's now 6 points for Eric Bledsoe. Rose kicks to Levine. He dishes it to Dunleavy. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Bledsoe against Rose. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Bledsoe against Rose. Passes it to George. Off the screen. Good on the jump shot. George has got his second basket of the night.
Well, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
Yeah, they were just pounded on the inside, particularly on that backboard. That was a huge disadvantage for them.
Well, that's always a disadvantage when you get blasted on the glass. They needed to do a much better job of getting inside position. And if you can't do that, there's going to be a long day on the backboards.
They kick it out to Green. Batum with the steal. And now here's Batum, the fast break opportunity. And Leonard gets it to go.
You could not diagram a better way to open a quarter.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the lead they've jumped out to already. What a start.
For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
And with Thibs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team in the way they approach the game.
And when you look at how Thibs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
Big step last year for Vucevic's offense, Clark. Unstoppable at times, both on the blocks and facing up.
Vucevic is a real outstanding future all-star front court. Rebounds at a high rate in traffic and out of his area. Finishes, faces up. This kid has a lot of upside. I really like his game.
Pass to Brooks. Plumlee with the screen. Brooks dishes to Plumlee. Down low. Shot clock at 6. Kawhi Leonard comes up with the rebound.
And talking about Vucevic's development last season, he's also had the highest assist average of his career. He's a good decision maker on the floor, knows when to take it himself, and knows when to kick it to cutters and spot up shooters.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And we get a chance to check out the numbers for Baller. He's around 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. Solid numbers, the kind of production we expect. And frankly, I think he's got another level to take it to.
Yeah, he definitely has the skill set to put up even bigger numbers. It wouldn't be a surprise to see that in the coming days.
All right, now. Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Jackson.
You know, and getting back to Vucevic, I mean, he's at an age where he may only get better. Averaged nearly 20 points a game last year after averaging only 14 the year before. That was an incredible leap in production, and I think it's one that'll continue.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Smith has checked in. Jackson hits both of them. Reggie Jackson had made some noise about wanting a big contract to be moved last year. Ultimately, he was traded to Detroit.
Yep, Kevin traded from the Thunder to the Pistons, and it actually happened on deadline day.
Green, the screen. Brooks, the pass to Vucevic. The jump hook, and that one hits back iron.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
And if you go back, remember Jackson struggled with the Pistons last year as well. So the team went on a losing streak as soon as he got there. That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Bulls trail by 14. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Here's the screen. On the wing, Brooks, guarded by Jackson. And the wide open shot from Green. Connects from three-point range.
And Jackson will look for a fresh start this season. I mean, hard to play with all the drama and questions going in your head about pending free agency.
George sets a screen for Jackson. And George, here we go. They get a hand on it. Finished off the break. Baller's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for Chicago.
Excellent, excellent transition passing there, guys. Straight to the hoop.
George with the screen on Brooks. This is to George. J.R. Smith on the wing. 6 to shoot. Los Angeles needs to get off a shot here. Hits it from three-point range. And the Clippers lead by 12.
And they are shooting the lights out from distance here early.
How do you stop this? I mean, it seems like they can't miss.
Brooks outside. Here's Vucevic. And oh, he hits the buzzer beater.
Nice shot there without a second to spare.
You know, as a defending team in that situation, it really irks you to give up a shot like that to close out the quarter. You know, oftentimes those end-of-quarter points can be the difference in a ball game.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. The Clippers on top, leading by 10. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. And a chance to hear from Deandre Jordan, who talks about the inspiration he drew from head coach Doc Rivers. A strong case can be made that Jordan played like the Defensive Player of the Year, Clark, this past season. And the fact that he didn't win it, looks like it'll keep him motivated.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I love the passion he plays with defensively. It seems like a burning fire in him, and Doc has stoked that fire with desire and inspiration. You've got to love how the passion to play defense burns in Deandre.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for Los Angeles.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
Also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half. They'll be happy with all those assists.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. Setting the floor for the Clippers. Bledsoe is out there with Reggie Jackson. Then it's Smith. Then there's Deandre Jordan. And it's Ibaka in at the power forward.
And Coach Doc Rivers wears multiple hats for this organization. Not only is he the head coach, but also in charge of all basketball operations, really the leader in a lot of ways for this team. The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
And here's Green outside. Good on the shot. Green's got 6. Thinking about Doc Rivers being a leader, he was like that on the floor, Clark, as well. You know that. You went against him.
A leader and a winner, no doubt about it. And there have been a lot of coaches that came from his old Celtics team. And of all of them, perhaps the least surprising is Doc Rivers for the reasons we just mentioned. Leader and coach on the floor.
And you know what? You allow a guy to get right to the rim like that, that's your only option.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, free throws are always better than a layup. So I'd agree with you there, Greg.
And guys, Serge Ibaka's production was just a little off last season. We're not talking, big number changes. We're talking small dips in a number of categories.
Well, one category where he did really fall off, though, Kevin, was field goal percentage. A career 53% shooter, he dropped down to 47.
And getting back to Ibaka, everything changed for him the minute Kevin Durant was lost last season. I mean, defenses could focus on him, and he was the Thunder's only front court scoring threat. And as much as he's improved on offense, he still has neither the flexibility nor skill set to be a guy that can be considered a first or second option offensively.
Talking about Ibaka, last season was good for his growth. I mean, he got a taste of what it's like to be the first or second scoring option rather than an afterthought. Now it's up to him to take that experience and convert it into improvement.
And it's Vucevic missing.
Oh, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
And the Clippers miss again. Bulls trail by 11. Here's Levine. No luck. Excellent D there from Bledsoe.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
Outside for Jackson. The 19-foot shot. Tips it up. Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. 6 points here for Deandre Jordan.
Always better to be lucky than good when it comes to offensive rebound. And unless you're as good as he is, then those tip-ins are all about skill.
Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. To the left side wing. They set the screen. Picked by Vucevic. Pulls up. High post. That's short off the rim.
And boy, has he been struggling big time here in the quarter.
Yeah, he's played tight. I mean, you can see it. No flow at all to his game right now.
Too open that time. Made it look too easy. And the Clippers lead by 15.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Now here's Plumlee. Picked by Vucevic. And here's Rose outside. The Clippers grab the miss. Jordan's got 5 rebounds tonight. To the middle. And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Jackson. And 12 points for Leonard.
Oh, they are putting the hammer down. A huge lead right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about their offense or their defense. I mean, it's all been good.
Plumlee sets the pick for Rose. Levine can't hit.
And another miss. Oof, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. It's stolen by Vucevic. Oh, and a fast break for the Bulls. And he gets the bucket.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
Jackson misses.
And he's trying to shoot his way out of it. You know, they have the lead, but honestly, I think it might help if he'd be a little bit more selective tonight. Another gap in the defense found there, and they've really had their number today.
Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation.
Chicago ball.
The Bulls shooting the 6th attempt at the free throw line tonight.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Really, guys, it's just come together for them at the charity stripe this season. I mean, the confidence is there, and so too are the results.
One shot. One shot.
Bulls making a switch here. Heinrich's checked in. On defense, the Clippers. They've only given up 6 here in this quarter. Dunleavy kicks to Plumlee. Just 5 on the clock. The 3. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Plumlee.
And guys, the Clippers last year, they were okay against the Eastern Conference, but not spectacular. You would have thought that with how well they were overall, they would have just really feasted on the East.
And the Clippers call time here. Clippers leading by 16. Outside Jackson. Bledsoe outside. The shot. No good. Some solid defense from Rose. As you said with the Clippers, Greg, they did decently against the Eastern Conference. But of the Western playoff teams, Clark, they had the second worst record against the Eastern Conference.
And you know, things like that matter, Kevin. I mean, they struggled against Eastern Conference playoff teams, went only 6-10 against those teams last year.
A 3 from Leonard. Chicago grabs the miss. Plumlee's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Dunleavy, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Watching Mike Dunleavy Jr., he's simply the mark of consistency. We know he's in his mid-30s, but you know exactly what you're going to get out of him every season. I think Tom Thibodeau, last year's Chicago coach, really admired that and loved it.
It's so funny watching Mike Dunleavy Jr. play. I remember when his dad coached me when I was with Portland, and he was a little kid running around, and all of a sudden he's become this great NBA player. But you're right, though. He's made himself into a valuable asset in terms of the role he's been given for the Bulls.
And he makes both free throws.
Talking about Dunleavy, boy, I tell you, he was playing at a high level already by his second season in the league. Practically every statistic across the board matches up since then. And that's over a decade later.
Shots good by Ibaka. Ibaka's got 11.
Didn't have any problem knocking that one down. Another defensive lapse leading to 2 more.
Rose dishes to Heinrich. The feed to Dunleavy. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Picked by Vucevic. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Plumlee attacking. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Serge Ibaka picks one up there.
And getting back to Dunleavy's consistency here in his later years, he's one of those guys who has really ramped up the nutrition. He's hitting the weight room. I could make the case that he was a tougher, better player last year, especially on defense, than at any other time in his career. And in college, guys, Miles Plumlee had an unusual competitor at his position. It was his younger brother, Mason. I mean, they actually had to compete against one another for playing time.
He doesn't get the second one. Well, Greg, going back to those Plumlee brothers you were talking about, there is competition. And then, Clark, you know, there's this friendly rivalry that'll always exist.
Yeah, the brotherly competition, if you will. They have similar bodies and share some of the same attributes as well. Drafted in back-to-back years, both toward the end of the first round. A lot of parallels.
A lot of similarities, you're right. Vucevic, a screen on Bledsoe. Rose attacking. Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession.
And now a look at Eric Bledsoe. Over the last month, getting it done. Getting around 12 points a game, 6 assists and 4 rebounds. They're loving how he's running the show here. His sensational passing really breathing life into their offense.
You know, the scheme just seems to run much more smoothly when he's in the game because he knows where everybody is at all times.
Paul George is checked in for Jackson. Three-pointer, Heinrich. It's hauled in by Los Angeles.
Not only is their lead big, but their advantage on the boards is huge, too.
They've been the aggressors, plain and simple, outworking them, fighting for every loose ball.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
Aaron Brooks is checked in for Rose. Bargnani is checked in for the Clippers. Batum comes in for Serge Ibaka. Bulls trail by 17. Now Brooks. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Vucevic to the pass to Heinrich. Plumlee sets the pick for Heinrich to the inside. Stolen by Bargnani. And now here's Batum, the fast break opportunity. That is good. Batum's got his second basket of the night.
Well, there you go. One team operating on all cylinders at either end, steals, fast break buckets, and the other team scrambling to find its game.
Great point. I mean, that aggression has allowed them to just create a lot of havoc, and boy, are they taking advantage.
For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country.
Plumlee in the post. He's covered by Leonard. The jump hook. Plumlee, no luck.
I'll tell you what, for what's really an elementary shot, he looked a little nervous on that release.
Deflects the pass. Heinrich with the steal. And it's sent back by George. Bargnani from long range. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. George has got 6 assists in the game. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
There's a good screen. And Plumlee kicks to Heinrich. Vucevic setting the pick for Heinrich. Back to Plumlee. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time. And he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one. That's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
And it's time for an injury report. Now let's get an update on Vucevic. What's the status there, Doris?
Hey, Kevin, I spoke with head athletic trainer for the Chicago Bulls. He said that he twisted his ankle and it's swelling up on him. We're into the heart of the season now, and that's the last thing this team wanted to hear. That's going to make their winter just a little bit longer, guys.
All right, Doris, really appreciate you finding out how he's doing.
And, you know, I know everyone is rooting for him to make a quick and full recovery.
Absolutely. I mean, his teammates want him back out there as much as he wants to be back out there.
Heinrich dishes to Vucevic, and that one goes in as he is fouled. It will be 3 points if he converts at the line.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet.
And as good as Vucevic is on offense, guys, he's doing everything he can to catch up on his defense. Huge size and wingspan works to his advantage, although the subpar athleticism hinders him a bit. But, for example, he's averaged less than 1 block per game for his career, mostly because even though he's a 7-footer, he plays well below the rim.
And Vucevic, no good on that one. Well, and to Vucevic's point, big problem throughout his career has been getting into foul trouble.
Yeah, it's tough. He's aggressive and sometimes out of position. Coaches are asking him to be aggressive, but he has to learn how to do that without fouling. That's the next step in his progression. And some of it is anticipation, so you're not in position to foul.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
That's good from J.R. Smith. Well, safe to say that J.R. Smith has never been short on confidence, Clark, his entire career.
Yeah, he's always been a guy who could actually play with confidence and back it up. When he's hot from the floor, he can take over games single-handedly.
J.R. Smith hits them both.
And for Smith and his confidence, last year even he said he's on pace to be one of the best shooters the game has ever seen. So obviously not lacking in belief in his ability.
Green with a screen on George. Outside, Green fires it up. Rebound by the Clippers.
And not sure if I can agree with J.R. Smith's assessment that he'll be one of the greatest shooters of all time, but he's pretty deep into his career at this point. Maybe he's hoping for a Kyle Korver type of career after 30 years of age.
A challenging stretch here for Chicago. Following this one, they get to host the Pelicans. That'll be the second game of a 5-game homestand. 1:12 left in the second quarter. Brooks kicks to Vucevic. 4 on the shot clock. There's the bucket. Good. Dunleavy's got 7 points in the game.
Really good job of creating just enough space to let that one fly.
Bledsoe passes to George. The dish now to Bargnani. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Brooks kicks to Green. Back to Brooks. Fires for 3. The shot misses. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Earlier in the game, they held a 25-point lead. No one near Smith as he lets it go. And it's Dunleavy with the rebound. The Bulls shooting a meager 37% for the game. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Vucevic against Batum. Shoots a fader. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. 18 points for Vucevic. George up top. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Milwaukee.
And he also was a table setter in that game, Kevin. Just an amazing job with his passing. Just a joy to watch that.
A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. Clippers ahead, running away with it. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you to the Halftime Show on 2K Sports. A big night so far for Serge Ibaka. He had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 block. It's really great to see him back to what appears to be top form coming off the injury. There's a sense of reassurance that he's healthy after the first 2 quarters back. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, right now, they're winning the battle above the rim. I'm talking about all their offensive rebounding, just a ton of second chance opportunities. They just wanted it more. And obviously, those extra possessions were converted into points that helped them build this huge lead.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
Well, there are a few areas they need to improve on, but perimeter defense is priority numero uno. They got to be quicker to close out on the three-point shooters, and you got to prevent the open looks. They weren't fighting through screens. They're just not doing enough, Ernie, especially outside.
And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.